Okay, let's be real. If you've ever read a profound, mindset-shifting book, felt totally fired up at 2 a.m., and then literally nothing changes in your routine the next morning, yeah, you're definitely not alone. It's kind of the ultimate trap in personal development, right? So welcome to this explainer. Today we're diving into a super fascinating intersection. We're going to look at how the mind-expanding prosperity principles from Bob Proctor's legendary classic You Were Born Rich actually map perfectly onto the rigid, systematic execution framework of the MyCS app. If you've been struggling to take those massive ideas and turn them into, actual physical results, stick around. We're going to connect those dots for sure.
I mean, we all get the gist, right? Think positively, set huge goals, expect abundance. The theory is fantastic, but what do you actually do on a random Tuesday morning to make it happen? How exactly do you manifest when your inbox is a disaster, the kids are screaming, and you're running 20 minutes late? So what happens when you take the law of attraction and force it through a literal military-grade execution system? Well, that's the puzzle we're solving today. How to turn abstract mindset theory into relentless, everyday action.
All right, here's our roadmap for this session. We're going to hit 1. The mindset and the machine. 2. Engineering prosperity consciousness. 3. Building the wealth image. 4. The daily execution loop. 5. Tracking your vibration. And finally, 6. Taking command of prosperity. Let's jump right in and see how your mind acts as the commander of your destiny, while your daily routine is the actual battlefield where you win the day.
Section 1. The mindset and the machine. This is where high-level theory meets ground-level practice. So we're basically looking at two totally different languages describing the exact same process. Bob Proctor uses this gorgeous, ethereal language. He talks about developing a prosperity consciousness, acting as a mental architect, and swimming in an ocean of thought energy. It's super inspiring. But let's face it, ethereal concepts are inherently really tough to execute. Now, on the flip side, MyCS uses this rigid militaristic terminology. We're talking personal operating systems, quantum command systems, and reviewing sit reps. It's highly actionable, but kind of soulless on its own. But when you smash them together, you get a machine with a soul. Proctor is the limitless rocket fuel, and MyCS is the tightly engineered engine that actually burns that fuel to move you forward.
Moving on to Section 2, Engineering Prosperity Consciousness. We're going to take that abstract consciousness and give it a real-world dashboard.
Okay, Proctor drops this incredible mandate. Money is a servant. You are the master. It's powerful. You absolutely have to actively command your life and your resources and refuse to let circumstances rule you. But hey, let's be honest for a sec. If you wake up sweating about bills, or you're always just reacting to the next financial fire, who's really the master there? Actually, it's definitely not you in that scenario. To truly master your prosperity, a positive attitude just isn't enough. You literally need a control panel to monitor, command, and direct your resources, so you're telling your money exactly what to do, not the other way around.
And that's where MyCS steps in as your literal interface. It slices your entire world into 9 specific life domains, stuff like finance, health, career, and relationships, and organizes them through distinct command positions. So instead of just vaguely wishing you were richer or healthier, you have an actual dashboard. You open your finance command position and boom, you assess the reality. This setup lets you take Proctor's high-level concept of prosperity consciousness and measure it from multiple practical angles every single day. You aren't just hoping for prosperity, you are systematically commanding it across the board.
All right, Section 3, Building the Wealth Image. Time to turn a vague desire into a concrete mission.
Proctor lays it out beautifully. We have to be the mental architects of our own destiny. He writes that everything ever accomplished was at first just an image held in the mind of the architect. So we've got to build this crystal clear image of wealth before it can exist in reality. But here's the catch, and we've all been there. That beautiful, vivid image usually completely evaporates the second the alarm goes off, the dog starts barking, and the morning chaos hits. How on earth do we hold on to that vision and actually execute on it when life gets crazy?
Well, this is where the MyCS Mission Planner comes in. It's your bridge. It uses a 6-stage planning structure so you don't just hold the image and hope for the best. First, you assess your current situation. Then, you lock in that mental image as your commander's intent. From there, you break it down. What are the specific objectives? The hard tactics? What resources do you need? And finally, you brief yourself and execute. It's literally a step-by-step process that hands you the keys to turn a fleeting mental picture into concrete, boots-on-the-ground reality.
Section 4, the daily execution loop. Brief, execute, debrief. Let's get into it.
So, the mechanics of creation are huge in Proctor's work. He teaches that creation always flows downwards. It starts at the absolute highest potential, which are spiritual thoughts. But those ideas don't just magically poof into physical stuff, right? They have to step down in frequency. They move from spirit down to the intellectual plane as an organized idea, and then step down again into the physical plane to become a tangible thing or result. To manifest anything, you desperately need a reliable, structured way to process that creative energy down those steps, day in and day out.
And here is the absolute aha moment. That esoteric law of creation maps flawlessly onto the MyCS daily command cycle. Think about it. You start with spirit and step into the intellectual realm during your morning briefing. That's you organizing the thought. Then, you step down into the physical realm by actually executing and tracking your tasks all day long. Finally, your evening debrief closes the loop, pulling out the lessons so you can reset your intent for tomorrow. It is literally Bob Proctor's creative process, baked right into a repeatable, actionable daily schedule.
Which brings us to Section 5, tracking your vibration. Yep, we're going to measure your frequency mathematically.
Proctor is adamant about this. Everything vibrates and nothing stands still. And since we are co-creators, we get to choose our programming and the vibration we put out into the world. Now, I know vibration can sound a little woo-woo, but it's actually deeply practical. Your vibration is essentially your momentum. It's your attitude, your focus, your literal physical energy. When a client bails or a project completely tanks, if you stay disciplined and act on your goals despite the friction, you're holding a high vibration. But in the middle of a chaotic week, how do you actually know if you're maintaining that frequency?
Here's the thing. Human feelings are entirely subjective, which means they will totally lie to you. You might feel super overwhelmed and think you're failing, or you might feel great while you're actually just procrastinating. That's exactly why MyCS tracks your vibratory rate through a command score. It's an objective daily composite that proves, without a doubt, how well you're holding your positive frequency. It totally ignores your fleeting moods and bases the math entirely on your actions. It gives you hard, undeniable proof of where your mindset truly is on any given day. It's just fascinating to see spiritual alignment measured like a literal spreadsheet formula. Just think about this breakdown. 25% of your frequency is allocated for simply completing your core habits. 20% is for knocking out your actual tasks. 15% relies on sticking to your morning planning, and so on. It brilliantly grounds all that esoteric theory. You want to know if you're vibrating at the frequency of success? No need to guess, just look at your command score. It completely proves that your spiritual frequency is directly tied to your daily, gritty discipline and intentional planning.
And our final stop, Section 6, Taking Command of Prosperity. Let's talk about reviewing your abundance.
Proctor gives us this beautiful rule. The stream of plenty always flows towards the open, expectant mind. But think about how easy it is to get lost in the weeds. You put your head down, you grind, you hustle, and you totally forget to look up at the horizon and see the rewards actually coming your way. If you're constantly just grinding, your mind is basically closed. To stay open and expectant, you have to carve out time to actively track and review the good stuff that is already flowing to you.
So, MyCS hardwires this exact habit through SITREPs, situation reports. These give you AI-driven overviews of your momentum daily, weekly, monthly, biannually, you name it. And this isn't just about nerding out over old data. This is literally the ultimate hack for long-term manifestation. When you review these reports, you are showing your brain undeniable, hard evidence that your efforts are paying off. You're proving to your subconscious that your prosperity image is actually materializing in the real world. That data continuously reinforces your positive expectation, keeping you wide open to that stream of plenty.
At the end of the day, MyCS gives you the tactical battlefield tools, and Bob Proctor gives you the ultimate commander's mindset. When you fuse them together, you get the exact blueprint to turn boundless thought energy into hard physical reality. You are fully equipped to bridge the gap between knowing what you should do and actually doing it. So, when your alarm goes off tomorrow morning and the chaos of the day begins, you have to ask yourself a critical question. Are you going to step up into your role as a co-creator and master your reality, or just stay a servant to your circumstances? The choice is absolutely yours. Start planning your mission today.